Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Kuwait pilot stream. It is 1700 Zulu, 2000 hours at local time here in Kuwait City, Kuwait. I want to welcome Street Law, Roy Van Can, welcome aboard, Eric, Stan, Ferdinand Froster, Aviator, Flyby, Alex, Flex, Stefanos, welcome aboard, and Doug. Hello guys, welcome. Glad to have you guys with me here on this live stream and our flight today from Istanbul in Turkey to Sofia in Bulgaria. We are flying today the excellent Toliss A321 Neo, and first thing first, a big congratulations for Toliss for acquiring Airbus as their customer. So Airbus is going to be using the Toliss aircraft for various purposes, and this is testament to the high fidelity and the commitment from the Toliss team to creating very authentic and very realistic Airbus experience for flight simulation. The scenery that you are seeing today of Istanbul is that of Aerosoft, and it's probably one that I do not recommend. This is the first time that I don't recommend the scenery. It's just not that good in my opinion, but it is the only available scenery, payware scenery for Istanbul, which I thought is a little better than the default, and so hence using it in the stream, but by no means do I recommend this scenery. If you're, of course, if you want to spend your money on this airport, that's totally up to you, but I just don't recommend it. All right, so with that, let's take a quick look at the beautiful Toliss A321 with the beautiful Neo engines. As you can see here, a fine rendition of the real Airbus, and of course this is certified by Airbus, so very, very nice looking aircraft in terms of the exterior modeling and the interior as well on the Toliss aircraft. So very, very nice, very authentic rendition, and just you really gotta love the Neo engines, the Neo option on the A321. This is a separate add-on, by the way, the Neo upgrade. So you don't get this by default when you buy the A321. So it can get a little bit pricey, but in my opinion, it is worth every penny. The aircraft and the new engine option upgrade. All right, let's hop into the cockpit here. It is raining here in Istanbul. Let's take a quick look at our flight plan here. We are today departing Istanbul runway 34 left, which is completely opposite to where we are parked at this point in time. And we are going to be departing via the Evade 1 Charlie departure. We are going to be cruising at 30,000 feet, arriving just about under an hour later to Sofia in Bulgaria. We are going to be arriving runway 27 through the ADDONS for hotel arrival. It should be a fun flight. The weather conditions here, as you can see, are not perfect, but they are not bad either. It's always nice to have rain and some weather conditions in X-Plane. And this is, ladies and gents, X-Plane 12.2.0 Beta 6. So it really... they fixed a lot of the things that we saw in Beta 5. The flickering of the clouds has been fixed without a doubt. And overall, generally speaking, the performance in Beta 6 is better than Beta 5 with more stability, I think, than the previous version. All right, let's get the show underway, folks. And the first thing is we are going to make sure that... we have all the equipment that we need, and that we have everything here. We've got there, circuit breakers are fine. And then we're going to come here and make sure that the alternate gear is closed and in position. Parking brake is currently set. The engine mode selector normal. And the thrust lever is in the idle detent position. Landing gear is down. we're going to move over to the overhead panel, and we have to check that the wipers are off on both sides, and we have more than 25 volts of battery. Let's go ahead and start battery 1 and battery 2, and we are using the COSP sound pack for the Toliss A321. External power, lovely sounds. Oxygen cruise supply oxygen is on. Ground control, and moving here, we're going to set the ADDONS 1, 2, and 3 to nav. Next, we're going to move here and put the strobe on auto. Nav lights on. Arm the emergency light. And let's go ahead and turn on the fasten seatbelt and non-smoking signs on. Next, we're going to move up here and turn on our fuel pumps. And we'll come in a minute before we start the APU and do the engine and APU fire tests. Everything here, we're going to make sure there are no whites. This is again an engineer panel that is not used by the pilots. So this is normally for the engineering, the aircraft engineers to come and check. So everything is checking good here. We can now come here and look at the clear shield. Everything here looks fine. We'll set that up in a minute. Let's configure our lights. Let me reset my view here real quick. So we are going to turn the lights on the PFD and ND, and we're going to do this for the upper and lower ECAMs and for our MCDUs as well. So let's increase that, and we're going to increase the brightness of the displays on the first officer's side as well. Perfect. Now we can start programming the MCDU. So let's bring this here in the middle, just about here, and we'll bring up also, actually we'll leave this in brief. Let's bring it up. Right, let's put that here on the side. And we're going to go to, again, diff strip is the sequence that we're going to follow, which is the sequence used by, I believe, EuroAir. The diff strip is normally the workflow for the MCDU. Diff strip stands for data init alpha, and then flight plan init Bravo, secondary flight plan, radio, and then performance. So that's the diff strip. All right, so diff strip, the D is the data. We want to make sure that the database is current, and next we're going to go to init alpha, and we are going to request the flight plan from SimBrief. And as you can see here, very nice integration with SimBrief. In all Toliss aircraft, we are today flying a real world route for Turkish Airlines flight 1027. This is a real world on the A320neo by Turkish Airlines from Istanbul to Sofia in Bulgaria. Cost index is 5, cruise altitude 300, so this is init alpha. So this is D, and the next one is the flight plan. From the flight plan, we want to select our departure and the runway. So we're going to select the departure runway 34 left, and that is selected through the evade 1 Charlie. So let's go down here, and that's the evade 1 Charlie, and we're going to insert that. Perfect. Now we have the departure. Let's go to the arrival, and we are going to select the ILS 27 Yankee, and then through the Dedi 4 Hotel, which is this one here, and we can check here real quick for any transitions. This is the ILS 27, this is Zulu, so this is the Yankee, this is the one we want. There we go. And if we look down here, this is the, yeah, I think we can, ISAF, yeah, we can select BLO right here and insert. And next we're going to make sure there are no discontinuities here. Looks like there is one there, so we are going to remove that. So let's remove that and insert. And next we are going to check our flight plan. So we'll go to plan, and now we can see our flight plan here. Let me change that. There we go. That's actually, we can fly from directly to the final fix, to the center fix, beg your pardon. So there we go. I think it looks fine. That's our runway there. We'll manage that once we are at that point. And that's everything here. Looking good. Looking good. All right, perfect. So back to the flight plan, and maybe it's a good time to start the APU. So let's come over here real quick and let's do quickly the test. Engine 1. APU fire test. Engine 2 fire test. And we can now start the APU. Wait for the flap to open. And there we go. And now we can start the APU. Very, very nice sounds. All right, we'll switch this back to ARC. And now we can go to performance. And from performance, we are going to use the uplink takeoff data here. And we're going to request the data. I think the data is received. There we go. We have the data here. And let's see. This is down 0. That's fine. Insert uplink. Now let me go back. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Insert. And now we have our flex temperature. Transition altitude 12,000, and these are our speed 155, 155, and 157. All right, we'll switch this back to flight plan, and we'll come to the second McDo, and we'll leave this on perf, and we'll leave it here. Excellent. And next we're going to set up the, of course we need to test our oxygen. Now the oxygen is not simulated, so you can't really open this, but you'll see that the oxygen mask has been put on the pilot face. So we'll come here. Status is normal. Excellent. And next we are going to set up the glare shield. Okay, so if we take a quick look here at the weather here in Istanbul, we have altimeter is 1012. Right, 1012 is set here and here. Perfect. And 30,000 feet is our final cruise altitude today for our flight. So 30,000 is now set. Perfect. Let's check on the APU. Looks like APU is available. So APU bleed is on. External power is off. And we are now ready to go. Alignment is in about 2 minutes. And we can now go to the mechanic and we can remove the external. Now, what I've noticed is in order to get rid of the external power, you need to have the beacon lights on. So what we'll do, we'll turn on the beacon lights, and that will dismiss the chocks and the external power automatically. And here you can see the jetway moving away. I'm using the SAM ground services and jetways. So yeah, it's looking very nice. Very wet Istanbul this afternoon. Very, very nice. Hello there, Mert. Welcome, my friend. Glad to have you with us. Hello, Carl. Welcome. Glad to have you with us this evening. All right. So everything's good here. The only thing we are awaiting now is for the alignment to complete. Next, we are going to come down here and let's take a look here. Alt reporting off. This is on auto, ATC 1, and this is normal. Now, normally we'll put above. We can leave it on normal, but normally above, so you'll concentrate on everything that's above you in terms of the traffic, and once you are at your cruise altitude, you switch this to below, so you'll get the focus on the traffic below the aircraft. All right, coming here, we'll set this to system 2, and we'll set the PWS system to auto, and auto here, and we'll put this on weather and turbulence, and everything else is looking good. And if we look now outside, you'll see that the doors automatically close, and this is something you can configure in the control panel, in the Toliss control panel here. So so we're good to go here. The nav lights are looking really nice. Thrust set simulations, welcome. Glad to have you with us this evening. It's been a while, my friend. Welcome. All right, so all is good here. And looking here, it looks like we have alignment now, so we can push out of our position. Now we are currently situated here in the heavies terminal. What we need to do is we need to push the aircraft nose to the right, tail to the left. Then we're going to taxi down this way, come all the way down here, and then we're going to go straight all the way until we reach our departure runway 34 left. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's come to better pushback.
Ground to
Start
cockpit.
push.
Please show me where you want to go.
All right, and that's exactly where we want to go. Right here.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Look at the weather radar here. Looking very nice. There, you can see that. Very bad weather conditions ahead, it looks like. The rain effect in X-Plane is very well simulated, in my opinion. It looks really, really good. That was one of the things we were missing in X-Plane for many versions of the sim. But they really have done a very good job. And this was actually based on an effort from a developer. I can't remember his name. I believe he's the one who developed the TBM.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready.
But I'm not
connect.
for sure. Do you have a plugin for WXR radar? Yes, I do have the plugin. Hello there, Aman. Welcome. Good evening to you. Direct to sim, maybe I should pick up the Toliss A321 with the Neo pack and the cost project sound pack. My wallet is going to cry. I think the graphics are not bad. They're okay. Right, aircraft's being lifted now.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, and parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, and we have clearance to start our engines. Engine selector to ignition start, and we'll start with engine number 2. There we go, engine number 2. Look at that, ladies and gents. Wow. Very, very nice. You can see another Turkish, looks like a 737 there, taxiing to the active. You have got to admire the way they've simulated the spin of the engines there. Listen to those sounds. Lovely engine sounds. All right, we have a good start on engine number 2. Let's start engine number 1. All right, and we have the second engine now coming up. Tell you, X-Plane 12.2 is looking good. They've also fixed the fog, and this is very apparent. You can see how, you know, the weather conditions here are looking, they are very indicative. So what you see is very indicative of the METAR, and it is looking very, very good, I have to say. And now we have the second engine coming up. Right, we'll wait for the engine to stabilize.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
You can see again how after the aircraft is pushed back, you can see the direction of the raindrops. Again, very, very well done in X-Plane. All right, let's go ahead and set the parking brake. Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, and we have a good start. So engine mode selector back to normal. We're going to come to the overhead panel and APU bleed off, APU master off, and let's see here. We can also start this clock here, and we are going to set flaps 1. Right, flaps are set. Speed brake is armed. And we can go ahead and just wait for the pushback truck now. And we'll be on our way.
Disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Let's take a quick look here at the clouds. As you can see this, you can see that little bit of a flicker, which is a known issue. But here, look at that. I mean, this looks really, really good. When you move, you can see the rendering. There's a bit of an artifact when you move it. But once you settle, then this looks really, really good, especially with the light scattering through the clouds. It looks fantastic. All right. So we are looking good here, and we can now turn on the nose light to taxi. Is this guy done? He is done. All right. So why is this guy in our way here? That's where we are going to make our turn. So we're going to have to, let me see if we can go to traffic global, and well, there is no reset. One thing we can do is we can go to the settings and just change that. It doesn't really do anything. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go. Parking brake is released, and nose line taxi, and off we go. Right, let's give it power. Check out the sounds. Wow. All right, and takeoff config. Yeah, the engine temperatures are low, so it's just delay the takeoff. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so it should be okay once we reach the runway. But yeah, this guy is just in our way, so here's an immersion breaker for you. All right. It'll just stand there until you move, so you can see also the surface refraction modeling in X-Plane is done very well in X-Plane 12. Alright, looks like one of the engines is okay, the other engine still is running a bit cold for optimal temperatures for takeoff. And you'll see all of these little details are simulated in the Toliss Airbus. Now I think we are in good shape. Auto brake to maximum. And now we have no blues and we are ready to go. Alright, we're going to just taxi straight down to runway 34 right. Hello there, Andy. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. Tell you, X-Plane is really looking very good after this beta. Here's a look at the outside. Very nice indeed. Here's another look right there. And that's our runway right over there. So still quite a way before we reach the runway. Look at the wing flex, very nicely done. Really, the Toliss aircraft, in my opinion, is the ultimate Airbus experience in flight sim. And they've got just about the entire fleet. We're only missing the A318. And you can see the surface refraction here. There's the cargo terminal. You can see DHL terminal right here. Yeah, we can put our wipers somewhere. There we go. And they look really good. There you go. We have definitely a much clearer vision here as we taxi down to the runway. Very nice sounds by the COSP sound pack. Thank you very much, Roy. Thank you very much for your kind words, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Toliss A340 is excellent. All of the Toliss lineup of aircraft is just excellent, really. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of their buses. They're all excellent, all developed with high fidelity and very accurate simulation of the actual aircraft, down to the performance details. So yeah, very highly recommended. I recommend all of the Toliss products, and they're a great team as well. Alright, so if we look here, we are going to make the turn right there and cross over to runway. This is 34 right, I think, and 34 left is right over there. So let's make our turn here. I'm not sure about that. Why are we getting this splash here? I can't understand the one coming from the wheels, and they look quite nice, to be honest. But I'm not sure about the, you know, what we're getting here, this part here. There's another Turkish Airlines ahead. Right, here's our turn. Looks like departing from the same runway. So this is 34 light, and the next one is 34 left. So we're going to cross over, and we'll let this guy take off first, and then we'll takeoff right before, right after that 737. Right, crossing here, and we are clear left and right. And we'll hold short here, allowing this 737 to depart. Right, 34 left. We're going to turn on our landing lights. Nose to takeoff, runway turn off lights, strobe lights. We'll just wait for the, there we go. He's been cleared for takeoff, and we'll line up and wait. Cabin is ready. Talking about immersion, this is looking absolutely fantastic. Right, he's on his way. Right, let's line up and wait. He's airborne. I mean, look at this. Look at the surface refraction. The overall scene in X-Plane has definitely improved significantly after Beta 6. All right, let's line up. Runway 34 left, and we are cleared for takeoff. Let's start the clock, and off we go. Check out the sounds. 50%, engines are stable. Manflex 63 SRS and runway. We're going to rotate at 155 knots. 100 knots, check. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gears going up. How about that, ladies and gents? Wow. Absolutely gorgeous departure from Istanbul. All right, let's not get carried away with the views there. Thrust climb is set. Autopilot 1 engaged. Let's set the range here to 40 nautical miles. Look at that, guys. Absolutely gorgeous departure here from Istanbul. All right, we can kill the wipers now. Excellent. And let's go very quickly here, and we're going to talk LBSF runway 27. Excellent. Flight pan, we'll go to the init page. We're going to change this back to 0 to save a little on fuel. And there we go. We continue our climb now to 30,000 feet. We forgot our transponder, and we can go ahead and retract the flaps. Flaps 0. Flaps are retracting. Flaps are up. Very nice indeed. What ATC add-on do you recommend, but also with clicks and text? I recommend Say Intentions. Hello, George. Welcome. Forward on the stick till 100. You are correct, yes. Aviation Ethan, what is the shaking in the flight deck? That is XP Realistic. Alright, looking good. And here is a look at the engine. Beautiful Neo engines there. All's looking good here. And you can see the weather right on this side. It looks like there's some really violent thunderstorms there to our left, but thankfully our path is clear, so we're going to continue on the current path. One more question: how do you get your camera to pan around that quickly to the safe position? Oh, Aviation Ethan, I use X camera. Hello there, Pip. Welcome, my friend. Good evening. With new updates, do you think XP Realistic is still needed? Well, I think the physics-based camera in X-Plane still needs work. I don't think that it's perfect. I don't like the effect with airliners. I do like it a lot with general aviation aircraft. So I think XP Realistic is not completely redundant, and also it brings some nice sounds to some of the aircraft lacking proper sounds and effects when, for example, rolling on grass. So XP Realistic, I think until this very day, is a very, very useful add-on for X-Plane. Right, we're coming up to the transition altitude, 11,000 feet, so we are going to set the altimeter to standard on both sides. Standard barrow is set, and above 10,000, landing lights off, and we're going to release the passengers as well. Absolutely lovely. I am absolutely loving X-Plane, guys. Again, the clouds have been improved in Beta 6, so I'm very glad that Laminar is making the improvements from one beta to the other, because I think after Beta 2 we had a bit of a drop in terms of the quality of the clouds, but I think they are starting to look really, really good now. Actually, I do not have X camera undocked and open in another screen. X camera is a plugin that integrates very well with X-Plane. So if you want to open it, I can show you this. This is X camera. So let me put this here solid so you can see it. These are the views that I have set or created for the Toliss. So if I click here on camera 2, camera 3, 4, 5, and the pilot view, and what I've done is I've set up keyboard shortcuts to cycle to these camera views. In order to have a smooth transition, you need to just have this box ticked, and you can see that I've selected XP Realistic only for the pilot camera, because I don't want the shaking and all the different sounds to be active when I'm in a wing view, for example. So you just remove that, and it works in the background, and it does its magic. XP Currently Pro is on sale for Memorial Day. That is correct, on the org store. So yeah, now it's time. There are some really nice add-ons that are currently on discount. QA, do you mind to share your X camera settings in the app? All right. Well, here's what I can do. We can go to, let's see here, File, X camera settings. Share camera file with the community. There we go. Author, Q8, pilot. All right, and let's see, version. I'm gonna type Airbus, Toliss A320 Neo, and then we're going to say 2025. How about that? And we'll say OK. All right, your camera file has been shared, submitted to the community server. Thank you for your contribution. There you go, guys. Now you can download my camera, X camera settings, and your wish is my command, my friend. All right, how much is Map Enhancement Pro? I can't recall. I do remember buying it, but I really can't remember. All right. Hello, Shoko. Welcome, my friend. Would you rank the CRJ? Which one? Which CRJ aviation do you think? Yeah, $40 US a year is not that much. But just so that, as a caveat, I've had issues with Map Enhancement Pro on my machine, so would you recommend the Neo over the stock version of the A321? Well, Tiger the Pilot, first, thank you very much for your support as a channel captain. The Neo version is not a cheap upgrade, so unless you have specific interest in this version, then the A321 will definitely be sufficient for all intended purposes. If you want to really study the aircrafts, if you want to enjoy an Airbus for long range, the A321 stock will definitely meet your expectations. However, if you have specific interest in this engine model, then without a doubt, or you are interested specifically in the performance, you're like a real-world pilot, or you want to train on the Airbus, and you want to absolutely have the correct performance for your takeoffs, your landings, then yeah, you can go for the Neo option. To lower aircraft volume a little. Yes, sir, we can do that for sure. I thought it was a little loud, but since no one said anything, I thought maybe things are okay. So let's go to... Alright, so we have override. Right, so we'll bring those down a little bit here. Master volume. And I hope that is better for you. Yeah, the clouds are looking fantastic. There, look at that, guys. Wow. This is wow. Look at that. Look at the scattering there. Look at the clouds there back there. Wow. It just looks fantastic. By the way, we are in the clouds, so I'm going to turn on the wing and engine anti-ice to avoid icing conditions, or avoid affecting the aircraft. Rather, we can't do anything about icing in the air. Yeah, very, very nice aircraft altogether. The Toliss aircrafts, though they could use improvement in terms of the textures, but this is just really very, very nice. I think you can move the seat as well, which is pretty cool. There, yeah. You can Can you move that? No, that is not movable. But you can open the cockpit door, and you can definitely go to the... Oops, what did I do? I think I might have... What did I do? I think I might have set the reversers on. There we go. I must have pressed a shortcut by mistake and messed things up, but I think we're fine. Again, yeah, I think we're good. We're still climbing. We are trying to. Yeah, we are climbing. Okay, there we go. So, not again. What am I doing? All right, let's see. All right, so here, let's go back to the cabin. Again, passenger cabin is not all that great, as you can see here. And Toliss is not a company that focuses on the unnecessary things. You know, having a really high fidelity passenger cabin, in my opinion, is really not necessary and not required when you're flying. You know, spend most of your time in the cockpit. So, yeah, about 5,000 feet to go. We can see there's a pocket of really bad air that almost crosses our path, but we should be fine, I think. We'll leave the engine and wing anti-ice on for the time being as we clear the clouds here and climb to our cruise level. Do you also recommend the A319 from Toliss? Roy, I recommend all the Toliss aircraft. But let me tell you this. In Airbus, from the flight sim perspective, learning the A319 versus the A320, the A321, the exception is the A340 because it is slightly a different aircraft with 4 engines. But the A319, 20, and 21, from a simulation perspective, and so from the procedural perspective, they are very much the same. So it really depends on what you want to fly, you know, which are the routes that you like flying the most. If you like, you know, the short haul flights, you know, those like hour and a half hour flights, and that's it, maybe the A319 is more suited for you. The A320 is probably the most popular of them. I do have the entire range from Toliss, and quite frankly, I do not regret buying all of them. Because I think they're just excellent. Now the performance, yeah, I know something about some scenery. So I know that the performance data differs from, of course, the engine type, but these differences are very, very subtle for us. You know, from the generic perspective. You know, as a flight simmer, it really won't matter too much for you. So my recommendation is if you have the A320, for example, you don't really need the A319 and 21. So buying one variant is probably more than sufficient for you to understand Airbus and, you know, all of the associated workflows and systems. The A340 is a different beast altogether. So definitely you can go and purchase all of them, but I recommend one variant. Also heard a lot about COSP Soundpack for it. You think it's worth it? Absolutely, absolutely. It's excellent. The COSP Sound project is excellent, and you buy the sound pack. It works for the 3 variants: the A321, A320. And the A319, so it actually works for all versions of the Toliss. The exception is the A340, which I think there is a separate pack for it. All right, we can see the ILS 27 Yankee here, and if we look at the destination, we are 62 nautical miles. So time to enter the arrival information. Let's go to perf. Let's go to next phase. I love those short hops. And now we can see the clouds here at 30,000 feet. Things are looking fantastic. All right, let's come over here. We're going to go to the weather at Sofia and enter the information. So 1012 for the QNH. The current temperature is 9 degrees Celsius. Wow, pretty cold. The wind's 280 degrees at 6 knots. Transition flight level is 5,000 feet, and we are, that's Cat 2, so was 100. There we go. Everything is set, and we are ready to descend in about 62 nautical miles. Good day. I just purchased the 747-200 Toliss, and I'm very Toliss happy watching your videos as a tutorial. Well, I hope that they are helpful, and if you need any help, we're here to help you. Welcome, my friend. Hello, HD Sim. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you with us this evening. You can buy the A319 with store points. Yes, you can. I believe so. All right, now folks, we need to take a look at the outside here, and here are the lovely clouds in X-Plane 12.2.0. Look at that, wow. I never thought that we see beautiful clouds in X-Plane, but this is really looking fantastic. All right, so we can turn these guys off. Maybe we'll need to turn them back on when we go through this layer of cloud ahead of us. Performance is really good in Beta 6, so we are getting about 78, 79 FPS, which is very good. I think I'm going to go ahead and turn on the wing and engine NTIs again. As we go through this thick layer of cloud. What are you going? What happened here? Speeding? Why are we overspeeding? Very strange. Let's bring this back. Why is the aircraft overspeeding? Let's take a quick look here. Strange but true. Alright, we got the speed down a little bit. There we go. And hopefully that's the end of it. We're still going, by the way, through a very thick layer of cloud. Maybe we've had strong tailwind, and that will explain why the aircraft is overspeeding. Looks like you can see the speed going back up, and we can see the thrust. Our auto throttle is off. I didn't pay attention to that. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, it looks like the auto throttle was off. I think when we did when I made the reversers earlier, the auto throttle was off, so the speeds were alright. Let me bring this back here, so we'll take the aircraft to normal speed as we reach top of descent. Right here, as you can see, we are approximately 19 nautical miles from top of descent. Alright. That will fix the problem. There we go. Okay, perfect. We'll leave the engine NTIs, I think, for the remainder of the flight until we are clear of the clouds. So far, things are good. All right, let's prepare for our descent. So we are... The platform altitude is, let's see, 3,600 feet. So we can actually do 5,000. So let's go down to 5,000. And we are now looking good. Perfect. The route, this route, has some mountainous terrain ahead. Let me see if we can grab it here on the weather radar. Put terrain. There, I think we need it. Yeah, there we go. Again, the terrain radar, it looks really, really nice in Toliss aircraft. Again, we can see the terrain radar here, and we do have some mountain range in our path, so we need to be careful as we descend towards Sofia. There we go. Again, very, very nice view here of the clouds and the sun. The rendering of the sun and the moon in X-Plane has become very realistic. Look at that. The sun is looking just great. Look at the glow there. That looks really, really good. Those clouds are simply amazing. Very nice. I found 2 free Toliss cockpit texture mods in the org forum. They improve the visuals a bit. Yeah, the community is very active, and they always create things that amazes me. Reflections in bloom look a lot more illuminating. Are you using any visual mods? No visual mods whatsoever. This is default X-Plane 12.2.0 beta 6. Alright, here's top of descent, and there we go. We don't want open descent. We want a nav descent, and that way the aircraft's autopilot will respect any altitude restrictions. So we have now begun our descent towards Sofia. And we are also going to... We can leave the brakes for now. We'll set them a little bit later. Again, through the clouds you can't really see much. But thrust is completely idle. Hopefully we'll clear some of the clouds and be able to see some of the beautiful sky color in X-Plane 12. Ice not detected. Alright, let me turn these off. Alright. Thank you very much, Stan. Appreciate it, my friend. For default simulator, it's amazing. It is amazing indeed, yes. And quite frankly, after the latest version of X-Plane, before 12.2, I think from... I think from the launch of X-Plane 12, I have found that the default sim is very reasonable in terms of the airports, for example. So all the airports in X-Plane are available. They are modeled. They are not the highest fidelity possible, but they have very accurate layouts. So if you go to any airport in X-Plane, you'll find that the layout of the buildings of the entire airport is very accurate in most cases. Yeah, the buildings are not all that great, and some of them look very rudimentary in terms of what they offer in terms of the buildings. But the nice thing is that they actually don't look bad, and all the airports are available. All of the world airports are available in X-Plane. So you'll go to any location and you'll find that there is a proper layout, proper taxiways, and signage, which I think makes X-Plane very attractive, even for those of you who are interested in scenery more than the actual flying. I think you'll find something very unique in the X-Plane offering. There was a very interesting video released by my two very good friends, Blue and XB72, in the Blue Experience series. They were talking about, how first they were talking about the clickbait, but what I found very interesting, they were one of the people that were invited by Microsoft to go and test 2024, and they've done something very similar to what they've done in 2020, where they invited some of the known content creators in the business, such as Frugal Sim at the time, and Squirrel, and they were explaining how they were, and they said, of course, when you get an invitation like this, you wouldn't turn it down, because it's, look, Microsoft, Sobo, all expenses paid, 3 days, you get to have fun. It's very difficult to say no to something like that. And then they were given access to the alpha version of 2024, and they said this is only alpha. And they felt that this was, the excuse that the sim, didn't look all that great. So they were pretty excited, and they really hyped things up, only to then get really disappointed when the sim was released. And what they were talking about is actually exactly why I have turned many of these offers down in the past. You are a human being. We are all human beings, and you will get affected by the hype. And Microsoft is very smart when they do this. They get to bring the trusted members of the community to talk about their product, and that is going to increase the confidence in the consumers. And then on day one, boom, everybody buys Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and everybody's disappointed. So I have received similar offers from other companies to attend different events over the course of the last 10 years of creating content, and I've refused all of them. And the only time I went to an event was an event that I was a sponsor of, which is FS Expo. I was a sponsor of the event. I was a diamond sponsor of the event. I went there with the 1 year I went there personally. I had my own booth, the Q8 pilot booth. It was all branded. I paid for everything. And the second year, I was a diamond sponsor of the event and a sponsor of the Content Creator Lounge. I did get some help from various hardware providers for the PCs, and from the camera, the webcams that we've used for streaming. So it was co-sponsored in a way, but I made very sure throughout the course of my content development career is that I remain completely neutral. You'll never hear me say, oh, it's going to be the best thing in the world, and that the only word you'll hear me say is that I'm very excited, I'm really looking forward to. And this is exactly why I didn't, accept a lot of those invitations, a lot of hardware, a lot of software that was offered that I very politely declined for these reasons. So I do hear their position. I do understand, the kind of dilemma that they were in. And XB72 and Blue are excellent content creators. They are trustworthy, and I really like their series, the Blue Experience. I think it's really good. I think they bring in some very interesting topics and subjects, and they bring in some very they bring perspectives that I don't see from others. And what I really like about both of these guys is they're not afraid to speak out. If something doesn't make sense to them, they'll definitely speak out. And so that's something I really like about both of them. But yeah, I could relate to what they were saying in that podcast. And yeah, I think I remained very true to the community to the best of my ability. There were maybe times that I got biased maybe. But I tried as much as possible to remain very neutral, especially for something that is upcoming. How is X-Plane 12 default AI ATC? That's one thing, Aviator, that I've been wanting to try. Because it has improved and it has now support for citizen stars, so that's probably something we should try in an upcoming stream for sure. Not could I recommend Say Intentions or Bats? That's what I would say. Say Intentions is just great. I think it's amazing. I've actually, the test flight that I did for this Turkish airline flight was with Say Intentions, but I realized that a lot of you guys prefer that we do not use it, and that you prefer to just keep listening to what I have to say, which is appreciated, of course. I do appreciate that a lot. So we'll do Say Intentions every now and then to test out features and showcase it for you guys. I just renewed my subscription. So, by the way, I'm not a partner of Say Intentions. They did approach me in their very early stages, and they said, hey, would you like to be a partner? We'll offer you a free a free subscription for a year, and just test it out and make videos. I said, thank you very much, guys. I will test it out, but I will pay for it. And I went and paid for the subscription, and I just renewed it recently. So very happy with the product. It's an excellent product. So we will probably test out the ATC, the built-in ATC in X-Plane in a future video, just to kind of see, what it has and how it behaves. I know a lot of improvements have been brought into the default ATC in X-Plane. So we'll take a look at that in the days to come. All right, let's go ahead and set the landing system on both sides, and we'll set the auto brake to medium as we arrive into Sofia. I believe transition altitude is 5,000, but it doesn't hurt to take a quick look here. All right, so it says by ATC, but we have it in the limit to is 5,000, so we will assume 5,000. And we are looking good here. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, so we do have this little... After Addon, we can actually fly direct to the center fix. I don't think that we need to go to all of these here, so we can fly direct, and we'll see what happens there. All right, so we are getting closer now to our destination. Let's take a quick look at the weather conditions once more. Let me just move away and come back to it again, just so that there's a refresh. All right, so the same thing here. We have 288. We have a little bit of rain, so light rain. As you can see, minus RA means light rain. Broken clouds at 3,500 feet. Broken at 5,200 feet. Overcast at 5,900 feet. And the current temperature is 8 Celsius. Wow, it's pretty cold. All right, let's set this to 20. And we can come here and let's go to... Well, we can go to any one of these. No, we have to go to... let's go to this one here. Say fix info. LBSF. 27, and we'll put that here, a radial of 269, and a radius of 10. There we go. We'll put this back on flight plan and put this away. And now if we go to 40, there we have our ring right here. Excellent. Right, 10,000 feet. Landing lights on. Nose lights. There we go. Excellent. Alright, so from here we can actually go direct to the center fix. We don't really have to go through all of these here. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to go to the McDo, and we are actually, let me do it this way so you guys can see it better. Alright, so we're going to go direct, and then we're going to select the center fix for 27 and insert, and now the aircraft will fly direct to the center fix here, as you can see. There we go. Brilliant. We'll put this now on 20 nautical miles, and we can see the ring there. We are going to extend the speed brakes. We are looking good. We have about 13 nautical miles or so to the center fix. And everything is in tip-top shape for our arrival into Sofia. Very nice. Looks like my chat was stuck for some reason. Alex, you made me laugh, my friend. Fox Aviator, welcome to the QA Pilot channel. Glad to have you with us. Right, let's take a look here. Speed brake, yeah. So let's put that. We'll arm the speed brake now. And we are looking good. We are at 6,700. We're looking good. Here's the center fix, and unfortunately so cloudy we can't really see much, but we can see our 10 nautical mile ring here, and we can see the glide slope and localizer needles as well. So hopefully we'll be able to bring this aircraft nicely on the runway. We've been flying now for 41 minutes, and it's been 51 minutes since engine start, and things are looking good. I really am enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream as much as I am enjoying streaming it for you. And here again, I think here is a better look here at the terrain radar for in the Toliss A320 one. All the Toliss aircraft have the terrain and the weather simulated properly. I prefer slowing down in cloudy days. Yeah, not a bad idea. Alright, we're coming up to 5,000, and now we can go to 4, as a matter of fact. And what I'll do here is go to approach. Right, speed check and flaps 1. We can see the glide slope needle there. Looking good. I'm going to use the speed brake here to slow down the aircraft a little further. It's going to be a violent arrival into Sofia. Right, glide slope active. Speed check flaps 2. Let's arm the speed brake. And landing gear is coming down. Wow, look at that, guys. Beautiful. Just really beautiful. And no more artifacts. So things are looking very, very nice in this version of X-Plane. I forgot that. What is the alt temperature? 112. All right, so here we go. Here we go. We're good here. Excellent. We are about, let's see.
2,500.
If we look here, I think we're fine. Right, speed check and flaps 3. Nautical miles. There we are. And speed check flaps full. Right, ground spoilers armed, seat belts, no smoking signs, cabin crew, seats for landing. And we are ready.
2,000.
All right, 1,000 feet. We are going to keep the autopilot at this point. It might be an auto land. Because I simply can't see anything. So autopilot 2 is engaged, Cat 3 dual, and now we're configured for an auto land. But if we are able to have visual, then we will definitely disconnect the autopilot and hand fly the aircraft. But as things stand right now, it seems like an auto land is justified in these conditions. Yes, that is correct. AP1 and 2 for Autoland should be on, as we've done. So let's see. If we are able to have a visual with the runway, then we will disengage the autopilot and hand fly the aircraft. Otherwise, we are all configured for Autoland, and it would be also a good test for the Autoland in the A321. Carl Wolf, welcome to Captain. Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution there and your support. Right, we do have a visual on the runway. Let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot, folks.
1,000.
And that's all right. There we go. My aircraft. I think it's a lot more fun to hand fly the aircraft. Too low.
Slow.
500.
Flight slow.
Definitely a very strong wind.
Flight slow.
Yeah, we're a bit too low. We can correct that.
Hundred above. 100 minimum. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10, 5.
All right, ladies and gents, reversers green. Those sounds are really, really nice. 80 knots, manual
Auto
braking.
brake off.
And welcome to Sofia. Solid. 6 out of 10. Thank you very much. I'll take that. Thank you. All right. Very, very nice. And before we clean up, let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of the landing. Normal landing in these conditions. Yeah, you want to be firm when it's raining like that. You don't really want to butter the aircraft.
100. 200.
All right, here we go. I think this is good. Let's go ahead and take
low.
All right. Sounds are just amazing. All right, I think here we'll take a look at how we've done, and then we'll do various replays. But I just love this this particular view here. Let me remove this here. And I think we came in very steady. Look at the lights in X-Plane 12.2. Gotta love those sloped runways. Definitely, there's a bounce there a little bit, but we brought the aircraft safely on the ground there. So here's another one. And this time, we'll take a look at this angle here. Very, very nice aircraft. The Toliss A321 with the Neo upgrade. Yeah, definitely a bounce there. Wow. Listen at the reversers there. Very, very nice indeed. Let's do one more with a wing view. I think we could have done better with the landing. But, you know, considering the circumstances, I think it's fine. And here's a nice wing view for your viewing pleasure, ladies and gents. Nice wing flex. Very, very nice indeed. All right. So let's remove the replay here, and we're going to go back there. Excellent. And let's retract the flaps. Very nice. And let's start the APU. Taxi, runway turnoff lights, landing lights off, strobe to auto. Let's start the APU. And we can find a spot somewhere in the main terminal there. Let's take taxiway Juliet over to the terminal. I think there's another terminal over there. But yeah, that's fine. Hopefully we'll find a spot here. I think there are some over there as well. But maybe we'll find something here. I hope. If not, maybe there's one here between. No, there's a Lufthansa right here. So let's see if we can find one between those two aircraft. And we'll bring our aircraft to a stop at the terminal here. Welcome to Bulgaria, ladies and gents. A country that I wish to visit one day, without a doubt. And looks like there is a position right here that we can turn to and bring our aircraft to a stop. There we go. Excellent. All right. Excellent. Parking brake is set. APU bleed on. No, APU generator. APU bleed on. And we can now kill the engines. What happened? All right, so it's available. All right, let's kill our engines. 2, 1. And let's kill the taxi light. Excellent. And we'll wait. All right, and we can now turn off the beacon light. Beacon light off. And we'll turn off the passenger seatbelt signs. And obviously we can now begin deboarding our customers. We're a bit away from the jetway, but that's okay. And yeah, it was a really fun flight today. I really enjoyed it, and without a doubt, X-Plane 12.2 is starting to look amazing, guys. It's starting to look really, really good. And here, let's do just one thing real quick here. If we look at the layer of clouds, look at the clouds here. I mean, this is looking really, really good. Quite frankly, I think in some situations it looks even better than MSFS clouds. Not in all situations, but in some it looks much better, I think. But it's starting to look really, really good, and very, very immersive environment really to fly in X-Plane. And here is, again, a default airport, completely default. This is out of the box what X-Plane offers. Again, there's nothing, no add-ons. I'm not using any enhancements, add-ons or anything whatsoever. This is X-Plane as you get it out of the box. As you can see, a very nice airport in terms of the buildings, the graphical assets. The performance definitely in this beta 6 is very solid. I haven't had any CTDs, very stable sim, and things are really looking very, very good and very promising for X-Plane 12. So with that, ladies and gents, our stream comes to a conclusion. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I did streaming it for you. And in our upcoming stream, more than likely, I am going to stream back again on either Tuesday or Wednesday. I will definitely let you guys know. I still don't know whether we want to do MSFS or X-Plane. I do want to bring some coverage to Microsoft Flight Sim after the latest SU2. There are some excellent general aviation aircraft, especially the Piper fleet by Just Flight, which I do want to showcase here on the channel. And I want to show you some of the great features that Just Flight has integrated into their general aviation fleet of Pipers for MSFS 2024. But until then, ladies and gents, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye-bye for now.